All right, now we're moving on to what's got to be one of the most anticipated games for every single Bears fan out there listening to this. It's the third straight year. I think it's the fourth straight year that the Bears are playing the Commanders. It's the third straight year that the Bears are traveling to Washington to play the Commanders. And it is 1 year after the Hail Mary that really turned the tide for that Bears season last year and led to the 11 straight losses or whatever it was. Was it 10 or 11 straight losses that they rattled off towards the end of the season? But it all happened here. And it's absolutely pivotal that the Bears, at the very least, give the Commanders everything they have in a clean game, because last season it ended on just one of the most brutal, boneheaded plays by Tyreek Stevenson. So, Christian, just off the bat, what are your views on this game? It's currently a 4.5-point spread. The Commanders are 4.5-point favorites. Looks like a juicy line to bet the Bears, but as we know, if after last season, all bets are off in terms of things that could go wrong for the Bears in Washington. So what's your read on this? And what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, honestly. I take the Bears. I think offensively we should have success. Um, I do want to shut out Bill Krosky-Merritt. He looks legit. Another great running back out of this year's draft class. Got him, stole him for a bag of chips. Great job, Ryan Poles. Shout out Ryan Poles once again. Way to do your job. But beyond that,
he's going to be running all over the Bears this weekend too with our run defense.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
But beyond that, I believe offensively we're going to have some success this week. I do not know if Colston Loveland's going to play. If he does, if Cole Kmet does, they have to show out this week. Cole Kmet has had a couple bad games now. He's had a bye week to kind of shake things off here.
He was brutal in that game against the Raiders. I mean, that was one of his worst games of his career.
But to be fair, a couple plays away from being a dominant tight end if he makes a few plays here and there, and he can. So whether it's him or Loveland in that position, I expect those tight ends to make those plays. I expect us to have success in the pass game this week. Obviously, the run game is a work in progress, but we'll see. I believe in the offense, and defensively, they're going to have their hands full with Jayden Daniels. I think as long as we can limit the deep shots, we have a chance. Keep things in front of us this week. I think we have a chance. I don't know if Terry's going to play. Terry has not looked the same. I think stemming from, not having a real training camp to get ramped up. We'll see how he functions in the near future, but there's no reason we shouldn't win this game. And honestly, we got to see more out of our front four this week. If Grady Jarrett or Dexter or Sweat could have a sack this week.
Sweat. If there were ever a game to step up, it's this one. He said he mentioned that he felt disrespected getting traded to the Commanders or traded away from the Commanders. He's going to be going up against Connerly as the rookie. This is the game where if you're going to show that you're worth the money that you're paid as a top 10 edge in this league, which is crazy for me to say considering the lack of production we've seen out of him. And everyone talks about, Montez Sweat, he's getting these double teams. He's really not. He's not a heavily double teamed player. He just hasn't produced. He hasn't been around the ball. The mystery of Montez Sweat is something that needs to get figured out, because when he came to the Bears at the end of 2020, at the end of the 2023 season, he was dynamite. I mean, he looked like one of the best edge rushers in the league. He played like that for the second half of that season. And since then, it's been an absolute dud. It's looked like a terrible contract. This is where you need to right your wrongs. You'll be forgiven by Bears fans if you can get a couple big sacks on Jayden Daniels. And as you said, the opportunity is there going up against a rookie offensive tackle. So this is a game, agreed. They need to step up. The Bears also are going to have to sell out against the run in this game. They're just absolutely going to. We saw a breakout game, as you mentioned, from Krosky-Merritt this past week. Jayden Daniels is going to be looking to run the ball because the Bears have so far through this season, and I mean, it's been for as long as I can remember as a Bears fan, since the Vic Fangio days, that this has just been a terrible defense against the run. They can't stop the run, and it's obviously going to set you back and make it more difficult for the entire team. I mean, if you can't stop the run, it's going to open up the pass game. It's going to be harder on your offense. You're going to have less possessions. So they absolutely need to do everything they can to stop the run in this game. I think that Kyler Gordon coming back is an underrated storyline of this game, that it's going to be Kyler Gordon's return. So we will see what he's able to do. But yeah, I think, and I'm not sure what TJ Edwards' status is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his status is going to this game, but if they could get him back, that would be very helpful against the run as well. Well, he's questionable. We'll see. It's a good thing that it's a Monday night game, so there's even just that extra day of possible rest and recovery that could get them healthy. So, it's really tough this week to project this game. As a Bears fan, I desperately want this win. This is one of the wins I want more than anything. It feels like the Commanders are a de facto rival after last season. Everybody knows that I've been lower on the Commanders than most, and somewhat of a JD5 hater. If you want to accuse me of that, I won't refute it. But this is the game. Caleb needs to step up, show that he's the, if not superior, the comparable quarterback to Jayden Daniels. Bears need to stop the run. It's going to be key. And the defense is going to have to, just hold up overall. Without Deebo Samuel, or without Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel has actually been playing pretty well, all things considered. And they've been scheming him up to just get peppered with short yardage targets for him to be able to run after the catch. So you're going to have to contain that, be ready for that. I don't know what Dennis Allen's going to plan to do for that, but we'll see. And I'm shout out to Tyreek Stevenson. He has played pretty well these recent weeks. Had probably the best game of his career last week against the Raiders. And so, I mean, but how much is that saying really with how bad this Raiders team looks now? All things considered, the fact that the Bears were so close to losing that game. Not encouraging. Want to be confident in the Bears. All this to say, 4.5 point spread. Feels like this is a place to bet the Bears. I think this is going to be a close game, but it probably will also be high scoring. So look at the over as well as a possible bet. But Turtle and Mike, from an outsider's perspective, Turtle, I'll start with you first. What are your thoughts on this game, and where are you leaning?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. The Bears' run defense is a huge question mark for me, and maybe they use the bye as a chance to kind of shore things up. And you mentioned Edwards possibly coming back. I mean, maybe that helps things. I'm just surprised at that the interior of the Bears' defensive line, which I thought was possibly a strength coming into the year with Grady Jarrett and Gervon Dexter. And I obviously, I think we mentioned it in the preseason. I wasn't a big Montez Sweat guy, but I figured he was a guy who could at least set the edge and stop the run. So I'm kind of surprised at the lack of run defense. And I think that could be a big problem on Monday night. Look, I think the Bears offense, though, is going to have a real chance here to have some success. Washington's defense kind of has a knack to give up big plays. I think it kind of fits what Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and that offense wants to do. So I do see the Bears offense having some success. The over is going to be a really trendy pick in this game. It's at 50.5 right now. I'd bet by game time that's out to 51.5, just because primetime overs generally get steamed up. And primetime overs are kind of tough to pick in general. So I'm kind of in this game in general. I'm kind of in a wait and see / probably not going to make a bet on this game. I think it's going to be such a high variance game. There's going to be potential for big plays for both sides that I don't necessarily have a feel one way or the other. If I did have to pick, I do lean the Bears just because, like you, Pat, I'm a bit of a Commanders hater. I don't know what the hell happened to the Chargers on Sunday. Obviously, their offensive line super banged up, but that was a extremely disappointing performance. And I don't know if that's because the Commanders are good or if they just played a offense that's so banged up right now. So I do lean the Bears coming out of the bye. I think maybe they clean some stuff up, but again, that's kind of just a lean for me at this point. I think it's gonna be a super fun, entertaining game. High variance, should be fun to watch, but I think both sides kind of have their issues, and I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing if Caleb can ball out, because I think this is a good spot for him to do that.
Yep. I like the Bears to cover this game with the 4.5. I really do think that their run defense is going to be in for a long night. You mentioned it, Pat. We've been seeing it play out, over these past weeks, and I mean and you're going up against a team that's leading the league in rushing yards per game. All that being said, I think with what I think we're going to see from the Commanders in terms of time of possession, I kind of lean an under for this just because of how I think the game is going to play out. And then you give me the Bears at 4.5 with, maybe they could win it outright. I mean, I think Caleb has been looking fantastic over the past 2 weeks, and he's going to be coming off the bye. I think Ben Johnson off a bye is something that you may, to take into account, you give Ben Johnson more time to set up, script the first two, three drives of the game. Darnell Wright, that hurts. Colson Loveland, that hurts. Are you gonna? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of variance, especially when you're talking about the injuries on the defensive side of the ball too. But no, I like the Bears to cover. I think 4.5 is a little too much, and I think I don't think Jaden Daniels has the firepower that we've seen over, that we were talking about all through his rookie season that Pat maligned very publicly. But no, coming out of the bye, 2-game win streak, I think you still ride that momentum. Caleb's looked great. The thing is, man, if you guys don't get gashed by Bill Krosky-Merritt on the ground, and if you can sort of contain Jaden Daniels, your number's got to be like 60. If you can keep him to around 60 yards rushing and force him to throw the ball, keep him in contain, maybe we see it. Give me the Bears at 4.5, and then, let's just roll the dice with it.
So are we all going the Bears in this game? Am I hearing that right?
I lean the Bears. I think this could go either way. Like, I could see the Commanders winning this game by 7 or 8, and I could also see the Bears winning this game outright. I just think it's gonna be such a high variance football game that I could see either scenarios playing out. So it's, again, I don't really love either way.
Right. And I think,
but then now that you mentioned now that you mentioned the Ben Johnson script, the Bears have scored on 2 opening drives this season so far, touchdowns. Oh boy, I might pick the Bears to score on their first drive. I think that might be a little fun prop bet.
And on top of that, I do love the production Rome Odunze has this year.
Yeah,
he could have 15 plus touchdowns this year, easy. I think
he's establishing himself as the clear number one in this offense, and Caleb's just primary target overall.
Yeah, and I think he can easily dominate this game. If Darnell Savage plays at all, oh my God, field day.
Yeah, this might be one of those games you just attack like a bunch of props, because these numbers like a 50.5, which I guess probably will be up to 51.5 for the total and the spread. Like, I don't love either of those, but like Caleb's over, I kind of like Rome Odunze to go over receptions and yards. Like, so this might be like a props game for me, because I think there'll be value on a lot of stuff like that if you bet them early. I don't know what the exact numbers are right now, but once they come out, I think if you get at those early, I think there's going to be a ton of value in some of those props to go over. Krosky-Merritt over rushing yards, maybe, if you want to get at some of that Bears run defense stuff. But yeah, it might be a